Summer is here. And in Michigan, it means one thing: time to get on the water. We fish it, we swim it, we play on it. For me, I kayak it. And just when I thought that I'd seen it all, someone says, hey, you can kayak to the Soo Locks. Time for a road trip. Heading north of the bridge, straight to Sault Ste Marie, the home of Bird's Eye Outfitters, run by Ken and Wilda Hopper, two people who have turned this quiet town into Michigan's outdoor playground. My name is Cliff Dubenois, and we are Total Michigan.
When we came together in Sault Ste Marie, like one of the things I noticed when I first came here is like there aren't a lot of people like getting outside. So a lot of people would talk about Marquette and Petoskey and all the other places that they could go, or even like Sault, Ontario, like in Canada, because
right,
their space is incredible over there as well. So the realization was that people weren't comfortable getting outside on their own, and they didn't know what to pack, how to experience an outdoor adventure. Like, what kind of backpack, what type of gear do I have?
Research is, people as a whole are apprehensive,
right,
to participate in something they are not familiar with. You've got to find a way to bridge that chasm. You got to educate, right? So that's one piece. And then another one would be, in order for them to have a good experience, you have to make them comfortable. We wanted to provide those one-on-one opportunities and also the guided experiences. So there is some hand-holding, but, we want to see people take it upon themselves to get the initiative to go.
Before we paddle the Soo Locks, plain Frogger with 1,000-foot freighters, and yes, we will get to that, I had to ask, why do this? Why spend your life trying to get other people outside?
Health in every aspect. Mental health, spiritual, emotional health, physical health. Because aside from just, bringing people out on adventures, and like we actually also are certified to do stand-up paddleboard lessons, kayak lessons. Like we do hiking 101.
Right.
Aside from that, we also are unique in our area that we offer a lot of like cleaner food options. And by cleaner, we mean like non-dairy, non-gluten options, things that people are looking for, foods that are highly nutrient dense,
right,
that give you energy, and that are just all around healthy for you. So, we have that love, that passion for health and wellness.
We want people to care about themselves and their physical and mental and spiritual health. There are research papers showing that we're losing our connection with nature, and it's having some mental health effects to us as a community.
And physical, physical and mental.
We need to get people
severely
back in touch with something that we need to be in touch with. Like I'm an ecologist at heart. It's all everything working together. There's a symbiosis that has to happen, and we're trying to separate ourselves from that. Why? To make things convenient. We don't. It's watching a sunset or hiking to the woods and not hearing the noise of a city it's a spiritual experience, I guess.
Right.
It's disconnecting from the things that you don't have to always stay connected to or be connected to.
Disconnecting from the wrong things.
Airplane mode. This is what we need. Airplane mode. Yes.
I love that. I was just thinking, disconnect from your phone, connect with nature. Right.
Yes.
We're disconnecting with the wrong things. That's my opinion.
Enough talking. It's time to get on the water.
There's kayaking organizations businesses that like to pump people through, and they get criticized, and we're not one of those. We look out for your safety. So,
and we appreciate that.
At the start, I'm saying this is why we use these boats. This is why you have to wear this. This is what this is for. And we go through a little 101 before we take anybody out.
So we launch off the kayaks. We're out into the water. And then when we come up to the locks, what happens next?
And then right after that, you're cutting across the face of the locks, the American locks.
Sure.
And there's hazards. There's boat traffic. There's
got to keep your eyes peeled.
We don't play chicken with 1,000-foot freighters because
let's not.
you're not going to win that one. And then we approach the Canadian lock. We call ahead, let them know that we're coming. They give us feedback, say, okay, it'll be 15 minutes to fill the lock, and then we enter it. And then we deck our boats together, tie off, and we lower 21 feet. What did it take today? Like 8 minutes or something?
Yeah, it was super fast.
When we're on the lower river, you see the gates open up in front of you, and then everybody makes the universal sound that angels make, or we assume they do, because it happens on every trip, and it remained the case today. So then we exit the lock, and we're still in what would be known as Canadian waters. And we skirt the Canadian shoreline, and then we cut across the base of the rapids, and you can feel the force of the water when you're cutting across it, and it's just, you know how small you are. And then we cut across there over to the American side, going across the lower part of the locks, and we go by the Museum Ship Valley Camp, and we'll get some snapshots on the rudder of that. Like, this is how close we got to a freighter on our trip.
Yes.
And then today it was cool because you were over there, and then in the backdrop you had a freighter going upbound, and then 1,000-foot freighter that was moving at a pretty good pace right behind you, going downriver.
Paddling the Soo Locks is unforgettable, but that's just one chapter in this story. Because if you ask Ken and Wilda, Sault Ste. Marie is more than just steel giants floating on a river.
What we want people that come visit what we want them to understand is that we've got freighters, but we are way more than big boats. You know, we've got a playground up here. We've got a national forest with thousands of acres. We've got a sister city, Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, with a population of around 80,000 people. And I know I explained kind of the mentality before. People are going to be mad at me for telling everybody how beautiful and great this place is, because that means we're going to get flooded with people. And some of the mentality around here, which I may share, is we like it. We like the space. We like, having not crowded roads and being able to jump off into the woods or get away from people in 5 minutes,
We are surrounded in Chippewa County. We are surrounded by fantastic trail systems. So it's not just like within our city limit. We've got like Round Island Point, which is just west of us. That's like a short, 10, 15-minute drive.
Bay Mills, you've got the overlook.
Yep, Monocle.
You're overlooking 2 inland lakes. Basically the funnel of where the east end of Lake Superior is and the St. Mary's River starts, and you're looking at, cliff sides of Gros Cap over in Ontario from this overlook that not many people know about.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's hidden gems all over here. And,
Right.
If somebody's listening to this interview, they want to check out what it is that you're doing, check out more about your business. Maybe they're planning a trip up here to the Soo and they want to connect with you. What's the best place to send them to?
birdseyeoutfitters.com.
Yeah, Bird's-Eye.
And then there's a website for the nonprofit as well. It's outhouseconsortium.org.
Yeah.
Otherwise, send them to 107 East Portage, Bird's Eye Outfitters.
Maybe you've kayaked before. Maybe you're more of a paddleboard person. Either way, what Ken and Wilda have built here isn't just about water. It's about stepping outside, finding that intersection where beauty meets adventure. And when you come to Sault Ste. Marie, that's exactly where they will take you. My name is Cliff Duvenois, and we are Total Michigan.